Hello again, this is the Craps Coach, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining in as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest updates and videos. That way you're alerted to any new content that drops. And be sure to leave a comment. We love hearing from you and answering your feedback. Today is a video on the Iron Cross. I know there's a lot of videos out there about the Iron Cross, but I'm going to go probably a lot more in depth than most videos do. So I'm going to call this Craps Strategies, but also it's kind of a Craps basic. It's a basic setup so to get action pretty much on every roll with the exception of the 7. And so I'm going to talk about it in terms of that, how many ways to win, how many ways to lose, and a little bit more detail that maybe you didn't think of. So the way I like to play the Iron Cross is you don't necessarily have to be a pass line better if you're not shooting the dice. You can simply wait till a point's established and then you can set it up. So let's say we set it up. And the point is 10, and then we set it up. So really simple. We're covering the 5, the 6, the 8, and the field bet here. So I'm going to put this chart out there, and you can see basically it's $22. So that's kind of like the minimum you want to do on the Iron Cross. It's literally on a $5 table. It's going to be 44 or multiple of 22, 44, 66 at higher stakes tables. But what I'm going to break it down a little bit more. So we've got every number covered with the exception of the 7. So the next roll, 2, 3, 4 is covered with the field bet, 1 roll bet. 5, 6, and 8 are covered with the place bets. They'll stay out there until you 7 out. 7, nobody wants. 9, 10, 11, and 12 are covered with the field bet. So we've got action on every number. One thing I'm going to point out on this chart that I'm showing you here is, so out of the 36 outcomes, there are 30 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. So your win probability on a roll is 83.33%. So that's pretty good. 30 ways to lose, 6 ways to 30 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. The only losing is through the 7. If it comes 6 ways to make a 7. So one of the things with this chart is that in a setup like this, really you're always making a profit. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. You're always making a profit, but you're only making about a little less than $4 per roll on average. So it really doesn't give you too much way to kind of build up. This is a very slow grind. If you're looking to just do this for 2 or 3 rolls at the initial, after the point's established, you're really only going to make maybe for 4 rolls $16 in that before you can kind of set something up. So you're risking 22, so it's a little bit slow of a grind. I will say when you have your $22 out there as a bet, if you hit a number, on average you're earning about 17.8 cents per dollar that you're risking. So again, 83.33%. So another way you could do this is just put it up to 2 units. This one would take 44 to do. Again, you can see here, essentially this is just a multiple of the original $22 Iron Cross. And same thing, now you're getting a little bit more. I'm going to put the graphic up. You're getting a little bit more per roll on average. Still 30 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. Your win probability is 83.33%. The field bet, I'm going to point out, for this bet right here, there's 16 ways to make the field bet. And then when you add up the combinations to make the 5, 6, and 8, there's 14 ways to do that. So actually the field bet's a little bit more favored to win. But still, with this setup, a little bit higher stakes, you're making a little less than $8 on average per roll with a win. So if you were to try to go from starting up at 44 here, and then it would take you 3 rolls to kind of cover your 22. 8 times 3 is 24. So you would then kind of regress back down. If you recall, I did a video about regression. The more that we can start up here, so we're going to win a little bit more on each individual bet, as you can see in the chart. You're getting a little bit more profit on the 5, 6, and 8, which essentially these will win, pay 14 each. This one will lose for that. For example, if a 4 shows here, you're winning 14 on the 8, but you're losing 10 there. So you recharge this and you have 4 profit as far as that goes. The same thing would be with the 6 on that one and on the 5 as well, because each of the place bets at 2 units each actually win $14, as you can see in the graphic that should be on there. Again, it's anything that's a 22, 44, 66. You're just increasing when you hit. You're just kind of increasing the amount you win per hit on average. But what I want to show here, as far as this $44, is maybe possibly a better way to think about it. So in this case, I would take the 5 off the field and go 3 units on 5 off of the field bet. I'd go 3 units here. So now you can kind of see, why is this better? Still 16 ways to win this bet, 14 ways to win here. But now this bet, the 5 will win $21. These 6 and 8 will still win 14. And this $5 is catching everything else, the 2s, 3s, the 4s, 11, and the 12s. So again, on average per roll, based upon the total ways to win divided by the number of ways to win, on average, when you hit a number, you're going to get a little over $8 per hit. So again, it would take you less rolls, probably in this case 3, to kind of then go. So for example, if any one of these rolls, they're simply going to pay 14. So you're getting a little bit more profit. We'll say again, the 8 hit. You're getting a little bit more profit because this would win 14, but you've only lost 5 off of here, so that covers it. So instead of, in the previous example, you were getting 4 profit, now you're getting 9 profit, and that's kind of how you've increased the dollar amount you typically win on average per roll. And then you would only need to do that probably 3 times before then you could simply regress back down to 1 unit each. Put all that in your rail, in your rack, and then you could go from here. Oops, I need a 1. You would then go from here, and then if you hit, start taking your profits. So example, like if a 2 hit here, you now can then take this and then either start pressing these up as far as kind of getting some more. But essentially you needed about, with $44, you need about 3 rolls to cover at least the $22 to establish this. And then you can regress from 44 down to 22. And then now you're playing at this point. If you can get to this point with 22 out on the table through a $44 iron cross, then you're essentially playing with the casino's money, and then you can kind of build up that way. Hopefully that was clear. So again, the idea of regression, so just to reiterate, I think this is the better setup as far as if you're going to play $44, it's actually 3 units on the 5, 2 units on the 6, 2 units on the 8, and 1 unit in the field. As you can see on the graphic, simply you're making it a little bit more per average per roll than you would had you taken with this 1 5 here and put it there. Just again, 22 The next multiple would be 44, would be here. 3 units on all this, and including 3 units on the field, would be 66. Again, this right here, mathematically, is the better setup to do as far as you're catching the 2s, the 3s, 11, and the 12s, and the other numbers en route. So again, look at these charts. Again, it's the Iron Cross is a very common approach, a strategy in playing craps to understand why we're doing it. 30 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. That's usually the appeal. Action on every roll is the appeal. But how you set it up, you can set it up in various different ways as far as how many units you have. But a good thing, if you've got more than 1 unit up here, you can kind of regress back down after a couple of wins. And then you're at the point where you want is where you are still in the game. You've locked up profit, and you're still trying to build money, but we're doing it with the casino's money, essentially, and your profit has locked up. So everything you then get at that point, whether you press or just collect, you're building up your bankroll. So, all right, I'm going to do some more videos about the Iron Cross. We're going to look at different ways to do it. There's a lot of things out there where people are essentially setting up variations of the Iron Cross. The one I heard probably in the next video will be about analyze quarter pounder every roll is the one. You can do it. The initial outlay of money, it's really up to you how much you want to put out there. But the one, again, a takeaway is if you've got at least a couple units, if not 3 units on the place bet numbers, after a couple hits, you can regress back down. You've locked up profit and you're starting to play with the casino's money, and then either collecting at that point or pressing the winnings. So didn't necessarily want to do a live roll. I think everybody understands how this goes. The Iron Cross is usually good, especially with at least 2 units or 3. It's usually a good profit maker for a very short amount of time. That's i.e. you're trying to get those big hits early on, regress back down. You've locked up profit, and you're still playing with you're still in the game, but you're with the casino's money. All right. Appreciate you joining in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you're alerted to when we drop new videos. We got videos coming all the time. And as always, be sure to leave a comment if you've got anything to say. We love hearing from you and answering your questions. Thanks for watching.